hello, and guess what? We're not making something today. It's something different. Today I'm actually taking you to the LA Fashion District and kind of giving you a comprehensive guide on how to shop there and how I buy my fabrics and just how the whole fashion district works. With Joann's closing, I feel like we all just lost the main place we get our fabrics. So I just wanted to share a space where you can still get fabrics. And if you aren't in LA, stay till the end because I put together a way that anyone can kind of virtually shop the LA Fashion District. So first, a quick explanation. What is the LA Fashion District? It's a part of town where there's a whole bunch of fashion businesses. It's like a cluster of stores that all just happen to be together. And that makes it so confusing and so overwhelming to just navigate. Going to and shopping in a fashion district is very different than going to a retail store like Joann's or Michael's because it's catered more towards like professionals and wholesalers rather than like normal customers and hobbyists. But I've been shopping there for like 8 or 9 years there, so I wanted to make this little guide so that even folks that are unfamiliar with the fashion district space can feel comfortable shopping and getting their fabrics there. But with all that said, let me take you to the LA Fashion District and show you around. The easiest way to get to the fashion district is going to be to set your navigation to Michael Levine's, and that'll take you to the heart of the wholesale stores in the fashion district. Once you're here, you've got to find parking. There is street parking, but it's usually pretty hard to find, and LA is not lenient with their ticketing, so I tend to go for one of the lots. There's a bunch of them around, but the biggest thing to be aware of is those dudes holding $3 or $5 signs. They're on the street, they'll wave you down. That does not mean it's $3 for parking. $3 for the first 10 minutes. All day parking here should be like $5 to $10, maybe like $15 on the weekends. All right, so now we've parked and I can head to the fashion district. First thing before I even head to the fashion district, I need a shopping list. I'm gonna do my research for my next video and kind of take you through the process of how I make my fabric shopping list with the help of this week's sponsor, Opera. Opera just released their latest update, Opera 1R2, and it has a ton of cool features that I'll show you as I do my fabric research for my next project, Sabrina Carpenter's tour bodysuit. So first off, let's set the vibe. With Opera, you can pick themes for your browser, including animated backgrounds, UI colors, browser sounds, and more. I chose Midsummer, and I was able to customize it a bunch and even add keyboard and animation sound effects. And thanks to Opera's super handy player, you can control your music without interrupting your browsing. Just hover over the player icon on the sidebar and voila! You can even detach the player and take it anywhere you want, both inside and outside the browser. More than just music, you can also have videos pop out and move them around and continue to watch while you search. And when I have two references I need to compare, the split screen feature makes it so easy to just work on them simultaneously. I can break down my notes while comparing it to references so easily without having two windows. Just drag one tab downwards and it's a split screen. And if you have any questions, you can ask Aria, Opera's built-in AI tool. Thanks to the command tab, you never have to open a new tab to find the answer to whatever question you might have, so you don't have to break your research flow. Just use a quick shortcut and ask away. Aria can even recognize images, which is so helpful for costume research because I can ask questions about what I'm looking at. It can even create images to help you better visualize stuff. Like here, I was testing out different colors to see which one I should make it. I've shown a bunch of Opera's cool features while doing this research, but there are even more that I didn't have time to talk about. So if you want to try them out and try an elevated browsing experience, be sure to check out Opera in the description link below. But with all that, I've gathered my references, I've made my shopping list for the next project. It's time to go to the fashion district. Let's go! There's a lot of different stores in the fashion district and it's kind of overwhelming. The best way is to just go and walk around and experience it. But to give you a place to start, I'm going to take you through some of my favorite stores and what I usually get from them. I also made a map with all these places so you can reference them, so that's going to be in the description too. Starting off, this is the most traditional fabric store. It's called Michael Levine's. This store is probably the most similar to what you find at Joann's. The fabrics are sorted, the store is clean, prices are clearly listed, there's tax, and there's no haggling, but there is a very wide selection. Also, it's air conditioned, which is a plus here. However, the downside is prices are usually a bit higher. They're also probably the only place in the fashion district that has like patterns that you can look through and buy. So it's a good place to start, especially if you haven't been here before. Michael Levine's also has a bunch of notions, so it's a really good place to grab your notions. And overall, this one is the store that just feels like Joann's. It has prices, it has notions, it just feels like your normal fabric craft store. Up next is Periel Trimming and Feathers. The best place for feathers. Also hat making supplies. These are like the feathers that I got for like the hair for Versailles. There's a lot of little stores like this. Like a lot of the stores will just be kind of a little unorganized, but they're really fun to search through, and don't be afraid to just like look through stuff. So this is Fabric and Fabrics. It's one of my favorite stores to get natural fibers. So that's anything like silk, linen, wool, all that sort of thing. He has the best selection and such a good variety of colors. It's always a pretty solid price for the fabric that it is, and it's pretty good quality stuff. Like this entire wall is just all different types of silk. Literally any type of silk you could want is here. For Kokomi, when I dyed silk, this is where I got my silk to dye. They even have wools up there. Also, they have a bunch of good cottons. Great selection and really good quality. The $1.99 store everyone thinks is the cheapest store. I think this one's the cheapest. It's the 99-cent store, and they have a lot of fabrics that are in there, but for like $1 less. I tend to come here for a lot of like stuff that you won't see. So if I need practice fabric or linings or muslins to drape, they sometimes even have really good fabrics for like $1. I got my Anastasia dress fabric here. This sweater! I cannot believe, like, I've never seen you here. Oh my god.
Drink water.
Yes.
And Starbucks no longer has a bathroom down here. Two things
Good
to
to
remember.
know.
Two things to remember.
See, those are good tips.
Journal Fabrics. This is Journal Fabrics. If I had a go-to store, Journal Fabrics would be my go-to store because they have a really great variety. They have fabrics that just like nobody else has, and they have pretty solid prices and good quality. Even if I'm not shopping for something specifically at Journal, I'll always stop by. Pretty much all of my dresses have gotten something from Journal. A lot of times you'll come in here and recognize fabrics from stuff that you see online or stuff that you've seen other people make. They have really high quality satins. Even if they aren't crazy expensive or not 100% silk, they look expensive. It's where actually I get a lot of my satins for like the Thor dress, the Met Gala dress. Look at the selection. This is all silk du peony, all silk du peony, all silk du peony, and they have really good prices on it. This is one of the fabrics I get the most amount of questions about, is that invisible tulle. I typically get my invisible tulle from Journal because they have a really good illusion tulle that just vanishes. Also, the owners here, especially in like Journal, General, and like some of these ones on this main drag, they're the nicest. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to just go and ask. The way I've learned about some of these really great fabrics is from their advice or different types of silks. And Arash, the owner of Journal Fabrics, is actually the one who first explained it to me. If I don't know exactly what I need, I'll go and show him a picture and he'll be able to kind of point me in the right direction, even if it's not in his store. He's super kind. If you have any questions about fabrics, he knows his stuff really well. So this is General Textiles. It's one of my favorite stores. I think they have some of the prettiest like laces to get, and like the beaded laces. You'll recognize a lot of the fabrics that I've used in here. I'll point out a couple. This is for my Versailles dress. Literally this exact fabric. It's stunning. It's heavily beaded, but they don't just have expensive fabrics. They're also one of my favorite stores to go for just basics. When I make princess dresses, I'll get satins here. This is actually the store where I bought my very first fabric. For my belle dress, I got the yellow taffeta, and I got like 10 yards of it to make my belle dress. If you can't afford like a beaded lace, but you still want something shiny and pretty, an affordable option is always to go with a glitter fabric. They're not as durable, but they're usually like way cheaper, and you can get a very fun shine on your dress without something crazy expensive. This is Aries. He works at General Textiles, and I think he's one of the nicest people in the fashion district.
Thank you.
Like seriously, if you've never been here, come to General Textiles and ask him.
Yes.
He's super knowledgeable about fabrics. You were actually the first person to help me find the first fabric I was buying.
Exactly.
Like I think it was like 6 years ago. I came with my mom, and he'll like, if you show him a reference picture, he'll be able to point you towards the best fabrics.
We specialize in brocades and laces.
I'll put all the links in the description, but if you're not in LA, you can also shop online and
Yes.
support a local
And
business.
yes, please, and we ship anywhere.
So good
Thank
to
you,
see
sweetie.
you.
Thank you. It's great seeing you.
Also, this is Prime Fabrics. It's another one of just like the stores that has quite a bit of a variety. They have a lot of really good basics. So today I'm shopping for these white fabrics. I'm gonna go up and ask because I don't know the layout of the store, and the storekeepers here are super helpful, super knowledgeable, and you can just go and ask them for help and they'll be able to point you towards the right fabrics. I think that's a pretty good match. Please don't be intimidated. I promise you the people are very kind. Ray here is gonna cut our fabric. This is Ray. He is the owner of the store and he's super kind.
We have an online, we have an Etsy account as well.
Oh, Etsy.
Yeah,
That's
we do it
easy.
easy, so you can order from that.
So this is Angel Textiles. They have a pretty wide variety for really cheap, but they don't have a consistent stock. So it's a hit or miss, but when you hit, it's really good. Most of their fabrics are under $5 a yard, and they even have like a really good place for scrap leathers. And this is Trim Expo. I think it's the most organized trim store in the fashion district. They have rows and rows of anything you could ever really want, and it's all organized organized and super easy to find things. So this is Trim 2000 Plus. I know it as the button store because they have so many buttons and a huge variety. They also have other trims and appliques and zippers. This is the closeout store. This is where you'll get like stuff for just $1 a yard or $1 a bundle. Fabric that I got for my Kokomi dress. The ruffles I found here. Definitely you have to search for it, but you can find pretty much anything here and it'll be at like closeout prices. So super cheap, but you'll never find it again. If you're really intimidated about talking to people, if you've never been to the fashion district and you want to just find somewhere to get cheap fabric that's good enough and it's easy to shop, Villa Textiles is the best because all of them have prices. They're all very fair prices, and it's like $2 for satin. They have all the basics you would need at a pretty affordable price, and you don't have to worry about haggling, especially if it's your first time. This is $2 a yard taffeta. I love using dull satin for princess dresses, $3.50 plus tax. They also have an online store. They even have laces on the other side. Not as fancy as some of the other laces in the other stores, but also it's $3 a yard. So on this corner is the $1.99 store. This is the store where you see in all those TikToks where Gunner and so many others come in and just buy their fabrics for $1.99 a yard. Everything in here pretty much is $1.99. To be honest, it's not my favorite store because you can find the same fabrics in other places for less than $1.99, like $1, but everything here is $2, so it makes it very easy, an easy, affordable place to shop. So this is Golden Cutting and Sewing Supplies. I think it's one of the best supply stores in almost all of the fashion district. Honestly, they have more notions than Joann's ever did, and they also have industrial stuff. And this store, like Michael Levine, is really clearly labeled, so everything is priced, everything is organized, and it's a little easier to walk around and explore. The store staff is also so sweet, and
Hello.
if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. They're really knowledgeable, and they'll even be able to just point you in the right direction.
I'm Ariel. I'm the store manager here at Golden Cutting and Sewing Supplies. If you need anything, I'm always here to help you.
Most things like notion supplies wise, they'll have so many sewing rulers in all sizes, grommet presses, fabric dye, safety pins, so many sewing pins, glues, a bunch of ribbons, sewing mats for cutting fabrics on, elastics, buttons, grommets, like everything. Now that I took you around the fashion district and you kind of know where to buy things, I also just wanted to give you some general tips for shopping at the fashion district. So welcome to just some tips and tricks about how to shop at the LA fashion district. First up, buying things. Most shops won't have prices listed, so you have to go up and ask the price for each item. There really are no set prices, and the first price they tell you does tend to be on the higher end, so you usually have to haggle a bit. Like with a lot of places, a bit of haggling, a bit of negotiation is expected, but as someone who has only really shopped at Joann's before, it can be a bit scary. But I'm gonna give you some tips and some starter points that I used when I was first going to the fashion district. First thing is just to know what the fabric's actually worth, which is the hardest part. You learn this just from experience, from buying things, from seeing what other people paid. But if you're starting out and you have no idea and you just want a simple rule of like, what does this cost? I would say that 50% off the Joann's price is usually a fair price for it. And of course, this is a wholesale market, so the more you buy, the more you can save by just negotiating down. If you kind of have a sense of what this fabric is worth and what your budget is, my next step is always just to ask. Ask for what you want and how many yards you want. For me, the basic rule is if I'm buying like 1 or 2 yards, I tend not really to haggle as much. But if I'm buying like 3 to 7 yards, I can haggle a bit more because I'm buying a lot more fabric. If I was a beginner and I was going to ask, I would say, oh, how much is this white fabric? And if they said like, oh, it's
9.
Which honestly probably isn't a bad price for it. It's about 40 to 50% off what Joann's would sell it for, so it's a fair price. But if I'm buying a lot, I might try and get a better deal just by asking. So I might ask, if I get 3 yards, could I get it for like 6 a yard? And they might be like, yes, they might be like, no, or maybe they'll like come somewhere in the middle and be like, hey, I can't do $7 a yard if you're getting 6 yards, but I can do $8 a yard. So if I got 5 yards, you could do 7? Okay, I'll get 5 yards for 7 then. Thank you. And that's all there is to it. Even as you're negotiating, always remember to be kind, be respectful. Everyone out there is just hustling. They're all small business owners just trying to sell fabric. You don't always have to haggle. If it's a fair price, like all those $1 fabrics they have outside, you don't have to negotiate it down. It's a very fair price for fabrics. And if you are uncomfortable haggling, there are a couple stores that have listed prices. The $1.99 store, Villa Textiles, Michael Levine. Those I recommend as really great places to start. Everything is listed. But some rapid fire quick tips in general. Bring cash. A lot of places will take card, but they'll usually give you better deals if you pay cash, and parking often is cash only. If it's your first time, come with a friend. I cannot emphasize this enough. Fashion district can be really big and intimidating. It's It's still downtown LA, and if you're under 18, please come with an adult. I started going to the Fashion District when I was 17, and I used to go with my mom. On that note, it's also a lot of walking, so wear comfortable clothes, wear comfortable shoes, bring water, and if you can, go during the week. It's a lot less crowded. The hours for most stores tend to be between 9 a.m. and like 4 or 5 p.m., so really going midday or morning is always best. Know that it's not gonna be a quick stop. You're gonna have to search for things a lot of the times. I know the Fashion District very well, and my trips still take like 2 to 4 hours. Don't forget to bring swatches, bring your fabric photos, bring your sketches. And lastly, I really only talked about some of the main stores. There are so many stores just in this area. Walk around, explore, check them out. A lot of learning how to shop the Fashion District is just exploring and finding your favorite places and learning. So go in with an open mind and don't be rushed. And lastly, if you're gonna come, please be kind, be respectful, and just like keep it as like a very positive space. This is not a Joann's, this is a wholesale fabric market. So it's gonna be a little bit different. It's not gonna cater to casual crafters, but it still is a really cool resource to getting fabrics. So go in with an open mind, be patient, and just explore. It's a really fun place if you give it a chance. And before we go, for all those folks that aren't in LA, but have also lost their local Joann's and want access to cool fabric, I actually went around and talked to a lot of the shopkeepers in LA and got their website where you can buy fabrics from them online. I'm gonna put a link in the description. I'm calling it the Virtual LA Fashion District. It's just a little list of all these stores I showed and how you can buy from them online. So we might not have Joann's anymore, but we have these awesome LA small businesses that you can still buy from and get your fabrics from. And it's usually cheaper. But that's all for this video. It's not my usual style of video. My next video will be on that Sabrina Carpenter dress I was working on in the beginning. So more crafting videos coming soon. But I really just wanted to take the time to create a resource to help other people in their crafting endeavors, especially since we no longer have Joann's. Let me know if you like this more informational style of video though. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm excited to see some more new faces in the Fashion District. Again, thank you so much to Opera for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye!